Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you. Have you ever looked in the mirror in the morning and felt that deep sadness settle in your chest as you see how the gray hairs have slowly taken over your entire head? Or have you ever felt desperate watching entire clumps of hair falling down the shower drain, on your pillow, in your brush, everywhere? Or maybe you've already tried expensive shampoos, pharmacy treatments, masks, oils, and nothing, absolutely nothing, has given you lasting results. If any of this sounds familiar, listen to me very carefully. I want you to know something important. You are not alone. Millions of people over 50 around the world are going through exactly what you're experiencing. And the vast majority keep searching for solutions without finding them. Not because solutions don't exist, but because no one has told them the truth. The cosmetic industry, the same one that makes billions every year, wants you to believe that the only options are to spend a fortune on hair loss treatments that often don't work, or to destroy your hair's roots with dyes full of ammonia and harsh chemicals that over time only accelerate hair loss and damage your scalp. They make you believe that without their products you're lost, that nature has nothing to offer, that hair aging is inevitable, and that only pharmaceutical science can stop it. But that's not true, and today I'm going to prove it to you. I'm Dr. Alan Mandell, and I'm here to walk this journey with you. Your body has an incredible ability to heal when we give it the right support. Take care of yourself, stay positive, and make it a great day. Wishing you and your family many blessings of good health. The history holds a wonderful secret that existed long before cosmetic laboratories invented their patented formulas. A secret that ordinary women, peasant women, the grandmothers of Mediterranean Europe already knew and used for centuries, and it really worked. Before chemical dyes existed, before there were pharmacies on every corner, the peasant women of southern Europe, Italy, Spain, Greece, were famous for reaching 70 years old with incredibly thick, strong, shiny, and surprisingly dark hair. Other women looked at them with envy and asked what their secret was. Privileged genetics? They wondered. Some mysterious ritual? No, it was something much simpler, more accessible, and more powerful than anyone imagined. It was a double homemade rinse made with two very common plants that grew in their own gardens. Together, these two leaves create a dark, almost black liquid that works in two completely different but perfectly complementary ways. One pulls blood toward the hair roots, awakening dormant follicles and nourishing the hairs that stopped growing. The other deposits a natural pigment into the hair cuticle, gradually darkening the grays wash after wash without damaging a single millimeter of the hair fiber. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly what those two plants are. I'm going to show you step by step how to prepare the authentic Mediterranean lotion in your own home with ingredients you can get at any market for very little money. And I'll explain in detail the 5 incredible benefits this lotion provides for your scalp, each one backed by science. The first benefit, by the way, has already been tested by researchers, and the results surprised everyone. It matched the effectiveness of one of the most expensive and best-selling hair medications in pharmacies, but without side effects, without a prescription, and without emptying your wallet. So stay until the end of this video, because what you're going to learn today can completely change your relationship with your hair and with your mirror. And before we continue, I want to ask you a favor. Tell me in the comments with complete honesty, what bothers you the most when you look in the mirror right now? The severe hair loss that won't stop, the grays that make you feel older before your time, the dandruff that keeps coming back no matter how many shampoos you use? Write it below. I love reading every one of your comments and knowing exactly what you're going through. All right, let's get started with the science and the history behind this powerful remedy. The first thing you need to understand is why this recipe works, and for that we have to know the secret behind those Mediterranean peasant women. They would take a clay pot, fill it with water, and put 2 herbs inside together, rosemary and sage, These two plants that we mainly use today in the kitchen to season food hide within their leaves a combination of compounds that act directly on the scalp in a way that no luxury shampoo can replicate. The old apothecaries, the pharmacists of that era, knew this perfectly. They knew that rosemary was the fertilizer, the herb that stimulated circulation and brought life back to the hair roots. And sage was the dyer, the herb that, when boiled, released a dark, rich pigment into the water, capable of gradually and naturally coloring the hair. When boiled together in a concentrated form, these two herbs turn into a hair tonic of such power that it honestly puts many products sold on pharmacy and supermarket shelves to shame. And now, let's talk about the 5 benefits this lotion brings to your hair and scalp. The first benefit is the most exciting, the rebirth of hair. When hair stops growing or becomes increasingly thinner, the main cause is almost always the same. The root isn't receiving enough blood, oxygen, or nutrients. The hair follicle, the tiny sac beneath the scalp where each hair is born, becomes lethargic and falls asleep until one day it stops producing hair completely. Rosemary contains a substance called ursolic acid, a natural compound that can dilate the blood vessels in the scalp. When those vessels dilate, more blood reaches the area. And where there's more blood, there's more oxygen, more nutrients, and more life signals for those sleeping follicles. This isn't folklore or ancient medicine. It has been studied by modern dermatological researchers. A study published a few years ago showed that daily use of a rosemary lotion has practically the same effectiveness as 2% Minoxidil, the most widely sold hair loss medication in pharmacies in Mexico and around the world for stimulating new hair growth. The difference? Minoxidil can cause itching, scalp irritation, and in some cases unwanted side effects. Rosemary lotion causes none of that. The second benefit is the one that scares the hair dye industry the most: natural progressive darkening. Grays appear because the cells that produce hair pigment, melanocytes, gradually lose their ability to function over the years. The new hair that grows has no color. That's what we see as gray. No natural lotion can fully reactivate those cells, but what sage can do is something equally powerful and much gentler on your hair. Sage is extraordinarily rich in tannins, natural dark-colored compounds that with frequent use deposit themselves onto the hair cuticle, the outer layer of the hair, like microscopic fish scales. As the tannins from the sage adhere to that layer repeatedly, they gradually darken the hair. It's not an immediate transformation, it's a progressive camouflage that week after week restores depth and color to brown, black, and gray hairs. Many people who use this lotion consistently for 3 or 4 weeks begin to notice that their grays are no longer so white. Their hair has more shine, and it has recovered that dark tone it once had without dye, without ammonia, and without damaging a single strand. The third benefit is especially important for women going through menopause or who have already passed it. During and after menopause, hormonal changes cause more hair loss than normal, the scalp becomes more visible, hairs become thinner, and the head starts to look sparse. This happens mainly because of a hormone called DHT, a derivative of testosterone that begins attacking the hair follicles. The combination of rosemary and sage acts as a natural shield in this case. Studies have shown that extracts of these herbs have properties that partially inhibit the action of DHT on the follicle. It doesn't block it 100%, but enough to slow down hair loss, keep the remaining hairs thicker, and give dormant follicles a chance to grow again. The fourth benefit has to do with the scalp, the soil where hair grows. If the soil is sick, the crop cannot thrive. Persistent dandruff, seborrhea, that thick yellowish layer on the scalp, and intense itching that nothing relieves almost always have the same cause: a microscopic fungus called Malassezia. The rosemary and sage lotion acts as a powerful natural fungicide. The essential oils of rosemary and the active compounds in sage have proven antifungal and anti-inflammatory properties. They regulate oil production, create a hostile environment for the fungus, and reduce inflammation. The result is a cleaner, more balanced scalp, free of itching and dandruff, that gives hair the ideal environment to grow strong and healthy. The fifth benefit is perhaps the smartest of all: prevention of hair aging. We already talked about how grays appear when melanocytes stop working. But why do they stop? Genetics play a role, but chronic stress, poor diet, and especially accumulated damage from free radicals are equally important causes. Rosemary and sage are among the plants with the highest concentration of antioxidants known in nature. When you apply this lotion regularly to the scalp, those antioxidants work locally, protecting melanocyte cells from oxidative damage. They can't reverse what has already happened, but they can significantly slow down the speed at which new grays appear. Now that you know everything this lotion can do for your hair, I'm going to teach you exactly how to prepare it at home. It's very simple, I promise. You need a pot 1 liter of clean water, 2 heaping tablespoons of dried or fresh rosemary, 2 heaping tablespoons of dried or fresh sage. You can find both rosemary and sage at any market, herb stands, natural health stores, or even in the spice section of supermarkets. They're very cheap and easy to find. Pour the liter of water into the pot and add the 2 herbs. Place it over medium heat and wait for the water to boil. Once boiling, lower the heat and let it simmer for a full 15 minutes. You'll see the water change color, darkening until it becomes a dark coffee or almost black tea. That darkness is the sage releasing its tannins, its natural pigment. After 15 minutes, turn off the heat. This is important. Cover the pot and let it rest, covered until it cools completely on its own. Don't put it in the refrigerator and don't uncover it early. This resting period allows the sage to release all its active compounds into the liquid. Once completely cool, strain the liquid with a fine strainer to remove all the leaves and twigs. Pour the strained liquid into a spray bottle or a bottle with a cap. You can store it in the refrigerator for up to 1 week. How to use it? Wash your hair with your regular shampoo. Get out of the shower. Towel dry the excess water, but don't leave your hair completely dry. With your hair still slightly damp, spray the lotion directly onto the scalp, section by section. Then run your fingers through the hair to distribute it along the lengths as well. Gently massage the scalp with your fingertips for 2 to 3 minutes. This massage is not optional. It helps increase circulation and allows the lotion to penetrate better. And now the most important part of the method, do not rinse. Leave the lotion in and let it dry naturally on your hair. This is how the active compounds have enough time to work on the roots and the hair cuticle. You can use this lotion every day if you want. If you don't have that much time, use it at least 3 times a week. The most noticeable results usually appear between the 3rd and 6th week of consistent use. But before you run off to prepare your first batch, there are some very important warnings you need to hear. First warning, if you have blonde, ash, platinum, or light-colored hair and want to keep it that way, this recipe is not for you. Sage is a natural dye and doesn't distinguish between grays you want to darken and light hair you want to keep. It can leave blonde hair looking dull, grayish, or even slightly greenish, which is hard to correct. This lotion is designed exclusively for darkening brown, black, or graying hair that was originally dark. Second warning, rosemary and sage are very stimulating for the circulatory and nervous systems. For that reason, pregnant women and those who are breastfeeding should avoid this lotion. People with epilepsy should also avoid it as a precaution. If you have any chronic medical condition or take medications regularly, consult your doctor before starting any herbal treatment, even topical. Third warning, although allergies to these herbs are uncommon, they are always possible. Before applying the lotion to your entire scalp for the first time, do a small patch test. Put a few drops of the cooled lotion behind one ear or on the inside of your forearm. Leave it for 24 hours. If there's no reaction, redness, itching, or inflammation, you can proceed safely. Recovering the health of your hair, stopping hair loss, reducing grays, and having a clean, healthy scalp doesn't have to cost a fortune. It doesn't have to involve harsh chemicals or treatments that damage you more than they help. Nature has given us, in the form of simple and accessible herbs, some of the most powerful cosmetics that exist. What you need is not money or luxury products. What you need is consistency. With patience and regularity, you'll start to see how your hair responds, how it becomes thicker, stronger, shinier, how the grays gradually fade, how your scalp feels healthier, and how the person looking back at you in the mirror starts to look more and more like who you really are. So prepare your pot today, get your rosemary and sage this week, and start this treatment that has worked for centuries for the wisest women of Europe. If you're watching this and thinking about someone you love, your spouse, your mother, your sister, a good friend who is struggling with their hair, please share this video with them today. You never know how much it might mean to them. Thank you so much for watching. If this information served you, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos on natural healing. Drop your comments below. I genuinely love hearing your stories and answering questions when I can. Remember, your body has an incredible capacity to heal when given the right tools. Stay consistent, stay natural, and most importantly, stay hopeful. This is Dr. Alan Mandell wishing you vibrant health and beautiful hair from the inside out. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.